Welcome to Lesson 2.9 about typical venture capital deal terms. In Lesson 2.6, we discussed investor expectations about return on investment, also known as ROI, and what multiple of their investment investors expect to receive when they sell their investment. We call the multiple the multiplier factor. In Lesson 2.7 and 2.8, we talk about valuation. Venture capital term sheets and transaction documents translate the ROI or multiplier factor and valuation into numbers of shares and then spell out the rights and obligations of the owners of these shares. They often refer to the, quote, pre-money valuation or the, quote, post-money valuation of the business. But they almost never refer to ROI and the multiplier factor. The primary reason is that ROI and the multiplier factor are usually goals. They're not legal rights. In some cases, liquidation preferences or redemption rights attempt to translate at least part of the goal into legal rights. Venture capital investment deals tend to look very much alike. 75% or more of the terms are probably the same in every deal. That creates the temptation to think the specific terms have little economic impact. Wrong. Those other 25% of terms that vary from one deal to another are wildly important. They transfer value away from founders and management to investors when the company is sold. We discussed these terms in detail in Lesson 2.8. Deal terms are usually summarized in a term sheet of between 3 to 10 pages in length. After the investor and the company agree on the term sheet, the lawyers translate these terms into several hundred pages of legal documents at the closing. It's useful, however, to analyze a typical term sheet in light of the primary objectives of investors and the business's management team, which are 1. To define valuation and price and ownership percentage. 2. To define how decisions will be made by the business after the investment. 3. To define the rights of investors when the business is sold and other exit scenarios. And 4. To define special rights of investors and the obligations of the management team after the closing. 5. What do you have to do to close the deal? We discuss each of these provisions on this table elsewhere. Thanks for spending this time discussing typical venture capital deal terms. If you have any questions, you can reach me at jimv@elearnsuccess.com.